First of all, congratulations to both of you, as we've said many times.
Thanks, Ryan.
You have to be so proud of what you've individually been able to do, and also collectively, because I know you've become very close and become friendly on this show. Yeah,
it's been weird because of that. You know, it's you go into a competition. You know, it's in your head. You're like, man, this is a competition. But then you become friends with people, and me and Crystal have gotten pretty close. So it's just like, you know, we wish the best for each other. And last night was awesome. So
yeah, always. I mean, I respect Lee, and I love his music, and I'll be in line to buy an album of his. And I mean, I'm really surprised with myself for making it to where I am right now. I really am. There
were a couple times, Lee, or maybe once actually, and people couldn't see this on TV, but you would finish, we'd go to commercial, and they'd be positioning Crystal, and she'd say, no, I want to talk to Lee for a second. I just want to check in with him, you know. So you could see how genuine that dynamic was between the two of you, even off camera. What was the trickiest part of last night, Crystal?
The quick changes. It's intense. I mean, you're running off stage and into your little booth, and shoes off, and clothes are flying, and things are being strapped on you, and you just kind of spin, and it's just a strange experience. But I had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lee?
The trickiest part for me was not losing myself in the whole thing. I mean, it was just in a good way, though. It was just so amazing to be up there and seeing all the people, you know, that came out to watch, and it's just, you're doing exactly what you want to do, and you think about everything that you've done to this point, and then here you are standing on that stage, you know, singing the last time you'll be up there. And it was a really weird experience, like, to be doing that. But I think as far as tricky, it was just, I don't know, it was just a weird night for me. It was I was so in the moment that it, you know, it kind of, I look back at it and I'm like, what was that? Like,
well, it's honest, it's true, and it should be that way.
Yeah.
I mean, how can anyone prepare for these moments?
A lot of people. I mean, you try and just to calm yourself, and your inside's shaking a little just from the excitement, and trying to keep that normalized so you can actually perform is pretty tricky.
It's tough.
Too.
Well, obviously the fans, but in addition to that, what has driven you every week? Lee?
What drives me the most is just knowing where I was a year ago versus now, and this is what I wanted to do. And I've said it like several times, but in reality, I want to be doing this for a long time. I don't want to be here and then do music for a while and then take a break. I mean, this is what I want to do, and the more and more I get involved in it, and the more I'm doing, the more I want it. And I just want to keep pushing myself and doing this for as long, you know, as time will allow me to. And that's what I just keep thinking about, you know. Where am I going to be a year from now? I want to be in a better place than I am now, and keep thinking that to myself.
Mama Socks?
Yeah. my drive comes, I mean, first and foremost, obviously my son. He just deserves everything that I didn't have growing up. I grew up basically dirt poor, and you know, no one should have to go through some of the things that I have, and I want to make sure that he never has to.
What will you look back on and laugh about when you think of this season? Because we've talked a lot about the intensity and the pressure and the stress, but what was fun, Lee?
I'll look back and laugh about probably the group numbers, because I'm a really good dancer, and I'm sure everyone knows that.
You love to dance.
I'm a really good dancer, and I mean, that's on a fun note. But like, when I look back, and when I'm just gonna be like, why did I ever let, you know, maybe let's say week 8, you know, whatever I was worrying about, that one song, that minute and a half, it was, you know, all that for nothing. And to get to this point, you go from a crowd of maybe 100 or 200 to 7,000, and it's just, everything's relative now to me. And it's just, I look back and be like, you're an idiot. You know, why'd you ever let that get to you, you know? But the group numbers are definitely going to stick out in my mind for a very, very long time.
Lee might not think so, but he's kind of like the class clown, and has been from the beginning. And I remember sitting next to him in Chicago, and he's just the funny guy, and you crack me up all the time. And I'm glad that it's me and you here.
I can be funny sometimes.
When you have a chance, right?
He's really hilarious, but when the mic's on, he holds back a little.
Yeah.
What happened at the beginning of the show last night in the aisle. I felt like you started, stopped, and went back and forth. I couldn't see from where I was standing. What happened?
I couldn't hear when I was supposed to go, and there were just people everywhere.
7,000 people.
I was overwhelmed, and I started running before I should have, and then they're like, no, get back. So I ran back up, and then I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I ran again, and someone knocked the mic out of my hand, and I was just like,
tell what was going on.
And then I was confused because when we went through rehearsal, you know, she was walking around me. I look over and I don't see the dreads over the heads of the people that were in the next aisle. So I'm like, where is she? And then I'm like, am I doing the wrong thing? Like, right? So I'm like, okay. I turn around. I'm like, I don't know where she is. I'm like, I just got to keep going because they were like, go. And I was like,
yeah,
all
because
right.
you came up on the stage and you were you had that look of
He beat me.
You're still.
I was like, where is she? And then all of a sudden she popped up. I'm like, oh, there she is. I didn't know what happened. I didn't ask.
Before we let you go today, for people who are listening, young singers, what advice would you have for them if they want to try out for American Idol after living through this?
Never take no for an answer. I mean, if the first, producer or whatever, whatever you come upon says no, I mean, if you truly believe in what you're doing and what you have to say to the world, then you should never, ever take no for an answer and always just pursue your dreams and be determined, and you'll go far.
Good advice. Lee?
I can truthfully say that before all this, I was one of those people that was, that'll never be me, and, just doubting and all those kind of things. And I could say with all honesty that you really, really never know, and anything really can happen because it did, and a year ago I was in such a different place than I am now, and like many people that are probably listening saying, oh, I'll never do that, I can never do that, it won't be me. Well, it can, because, I was thinking the exact same thing. So I think just don't be afraid to take risks, and it's okay to put yourself out there like that because you never know what'll happen.